Akshay, did you always knew what you wanted to do when you passed out from MBA?
I was all over the place. Saurabh, what about you?
यार मेरे को तो तब भी आइडिया नहीं था, आज भी आइडिया नहीं है.
Confused about your career choices? Wondering what steps to take next? In this podcast called Beyond Campus, Saurabh Garg, founder of C4E, and Akshay Dutt, founder of Unnati, are on a mission to crack open the career success code for the youth. वो बचपन में कहते थे ना, तुम जो चाहे बन सकते हो. So, let's turn the dream into reality.
Okay, Google, make the lightings romantic. These were the first magical words I said when my crush was finally sitting on the couch right in front of me. Thanks to companies like IOTfy, the dreams of hundreds of others just like me is now becoming a reality. And right before you get a dirty minds racing, let me tell you, I meant the concept of next-gen smart lightings. IOTify is a platform that powers smart devices like light bulbs, ACs, refrigerators, and more. For those who always wanted to have a Jarvis like from Iron Man of their own, companies like IOTify are the way to look forward. Arpit Chabbra, the CEO of IOTify, was only 24 when he started his first company. 5 years down the line, and after co-founding a couple of other companies, Arpit had enough for not to worry about his monthly salary. Do you want to know his secret? Come, join us on this episode of Beyond Campus.
मतलब आपका जो एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप का कीड़ा था वो बचपन से ही था या आपको बचपन में क्या सोचा था आपने कि मैं बड़े होकर क्या बनूंगा?
यार ऑनेस्टली बचपन में तो आई जस्ट वाज ऑलवेज फैसिनेटेड बाय इंजीनियरिंग थिंग्स. इफ आई वुड सी समथिंग जहाँ पे मतलब ये है कि आई रिमेंबर प्रगति मैदान में मैं एक बार गया था, वहाँ पे देयर वाज अ स्टॉल जहाँ पे आप ताली बजाओ तो एक लाइट ऑन ऑफ होती थी. तो दैट वाज समथिंग व्हिच आई रियलाइज्ड व्हाइल कमिंग बैक फ्रॉम दैट ट्रेड फेयर कि यार ऐसा कुछ करना है बड़ा हो. सो आई मीन यस, आई मीन इट वाज नॉट एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप दैट आई हैड एज अ डेस्टिनेशन फॉर माई सेल्फ, but it was engineering definitely. And then while I was doing my engineering, I happened to graduate from NSIT.
And NSIT में did the boy become a man? What was that experience like? College का पूरा?
Yes, NSIT, honestly, I mean, that has been a very important milestone in my life because good part is the kind of people that were there. I mean, the students that were there alongside me. One thing is for sure that these guys have a super caliber and good IQ. So it's a very competitive environment which was there at our time at NSIT. Everyone was trying to help each other, but everyone was trying to improve each other as well. So इस case में ये था कि let's say if I'm good at something, there would be someone who would try to learn that from me. And if there are 10 different people who are good at 10 different things, I'll try to learn those 10 different things from them and at least improve my capabilities on the skills that they were good at. So those 4 years, I mean, are the best years, I would say. I think everyone says that college के time best रहता है हर किसी की life because see, engineering colleges, I mean, as everyone knows, for the semesters we hardly end up studying for 5-6 days and everyone scores good grades. But what do you do apart from those 6-7 days is something that defines you. And I remember spending a lot of time in the workshops, in the labs and all, at least for during my third and fourth year, because that is where I was really enjoying my engineering. कि जो भी lab में setups है उससे कुछ बना के देखते हैं. Let's try to create something. I ended up doing 7-8 projects during my engineering time frame. Couple of them were industrial projects as well. We developed machine for Central Electronics Limited in Saibabad, and that is still installed on their production line. So those are the kind of experiences, exposures that actually define you as a person. So I mean, to answer your question, yes, I mean, a boy who had some aspiration of doing something on the engineering side ended up making certain things which were used by industry. I mean, during the college time itself. So that gave me a lot of confidence. कि यार अगर college में with limited resources I could do this. Possibly I could think about a career around this path itself.
You were doing mechanical engineering?
So my engineering trade was manufacturing processes and automation. So it's a very beautiful mix of mechanical engineering plus electronics and instrumentation, automation, etc.
So then, meanwhile, you finished your बीटेक, फिर उसके बाद क्या हुआ?
बीटेक से जब निकला, आई मीन लकीली बिकॉज एनएसआईटी की प्लेसमेंट रिकॉर्ड्स आर गुड, तो आई हैड 3 jobs एट माई हैंड व्हेन आई रोट माई लास्ट एग्जाम एट एनएसआईटी, एंड आई वाज स्टिल कॉन्टेम्पलेटिंग कि कहाँ पे जाना चाहिए. So I had jobs from Honda car company, I had job from Yamaha and from Wipro. So I realized कि यार bikes anyways have been a passion for me. तो लगा कि यार यामाहा ज्वाइन करते हैं, बाइक्स की कंपनी में काम करेंगे, मजा भी आएगा, बाइक्स में इंटरेस्ट भी है. तो आई जॉइंड यामाहा, बट आई लेफ्ट दैट इन अराउंड 5 months. एंड वन ऑफ द रीजंस फॉर दैट वाज, आई मीन आई डिडंट लाइक द कल्चर देयर, बिकॉज वहाँ पे जो वर्कर्स यूनियन थी वो बहुत स्ट्रांग थी. एंड although my seniors were very very supportive, I realized कि 2-3 problem statements थी वहाँ पे. I got hold of one of them. My seniors were like कि हाँ इसे crack कर सकते हैं, because we were trying to improve efficiency of one line. And while I was doing time study for that line, one of the workers literally threatened me by saying कि ये जो भी आप कर रहे हो ये अच्छा नहीं है. आप मैं अपने सीनियर के पास गया, मैंने बोला कि ऐसा कुछ बोला. तो लाइक कि यार यहाँ पे वर्कर यूनियन बहुत स्ट्रांग है, बिकॉज अगर हम टाइम स्टडी करके ऑप्टिमाइज करेंगे लाइन को और एफिशिएंसी बढ़ाने की बात करेंगे, इसका मतलब ये है कि उन्हें ज्यादा काम करना पड़ेगा. तो तेरे को अभी डरा रहे हैं. तो आई मीन सर्टन, आई मीन दिस इज वन एनेक्डोट ऑफ द काइंड ऑफ इंस्टेंसेस दैट हैपेंड देयर. बट आई रियलाइज कि यार मेरा जो पैशन था यहाँ पे पॉलिटिक्स के अंदर ना फंस जाए. At that time, I actually said कि यहाँ पे नहीं हो पाएगा, and then I moved over to eValueServe. So that was a company that was doing stuff into business research, intellectual property research. So I got into their intellectual property research department. So why did I make that move was because patents, anyways, I mean anything which is new or a new invention or novel invention is usually patented, right? And बिकॉज मुझे ये लगता था कि अगर मैं नई इन्वेंशंस के बारे में पढ़ूंगा तो it will be helpful for me. So that is why I said that this looks like a good role, and I moved to eValueServe. So at eValueServe, I was working with a lot of US attorneys and startups as well as licensing firms in the US and Europe. And I was there for around 20 months. And I moved out of eValueServe because I got another offer from a competition of eValueServe, which was very lucrative. And at that time, I just bought my home as well. So I was looking for some pay hike as well. So I moved from eValueServe, and during that time, something very interesting happened. When my client executive, who used to operate from the US, made this disclosure to the clients that I was handling, that Arpit is making a move, he won't be working with us from now on. At that time, one of our clients, who was a very seasoned player in IP licensing company in the US, made a call to me soon after that call. Why are you moving and where are you moving? I said, I mean, I'm moving because I've got a better offer from another company. And at that time, he said, I mean, if you want to start something, just give me a call. I would like to work with you again. So that part actually sticked around for me. कि यार अगर ऐसा है तो मतलब should I be thinking about doing something on my own? So 1.5 months down the line, I just dropped him an email that I have been thinking about starting something on my own. And believe me, I mean, what happened was within like 3 weeks, I registered my company. I got the first work order from the same person who said I would like to work with you. And this is how actually, I mean, my entrepreneurship journey started. It was accidental, or but again, I mean, uske baad there has been no looking back. And then the first startup which I did start in 2007, Sagacious Research. I mean, story that I just told you. I mean, this is how Sagacious Research got started.
And you were alone in this? Yeah, you had other people with you.
So I had 2 other people with me, but these guys came in 3 months down the line when I actually got the first order, started working for the client. So these were like my ex-colleagues from eValueServe only, Tarun and Anant. So since we have been like very good friends, so I just told them that I've started this. And they said, I mean, we're also thinking about starting something. Shall we join hands? At that time, I mean, I was like, यार इससे बढ़िया क्या हो सकता है? I mean, we'll have 3 good people working together, and it was a decision that was made in like 5-6 minutes. कि ठीक है यार, मतलब why there is no reason why shouldn't we work together? And that's how we started. So these guys came in like.
How old were you at that time?
I was 24 at that time.
Acha, okay.
So this is how Sagacious started. I enjoyed my work, did that Sagacious thing for around 4.5 years. उसके बाद again
How big did it become?
Uh,
मतलब by the fourth year कितना turnover हो रहा था
So
या
at fourth
if you
year,
remember?
we were a plus of 6 crores in revenue, and we had a team of around 35 people. So that was good enough for us because I mean, if you're able to achieve a number like this with a services business, that to a service which is a good to have service. I mean, because something like let's say. App development or any application development, I mean, the chances of growing that business are much higher because there's a lot of demand. For something like IPR, I mean, since it's a very niche service, if we're able to grow it to that level, I mean, we felt, I mean, we had done decently well. But 4.5 years into the business, I realized कि यार my real calling is engineering. तो ये जो मैं अभी tech consulting कर रहा हूँ, मतलब वो kick नहीं आ रहा है वहाँ से. तो that's where I talked to my founders कि यार I would like to move on. And these guys were kind enough. They said कि ठीक है, let's chalk out a plan कि कैसे we can still get take care of the business that we have, because I was managing quite a lot of clients for sagacious research. Obviously, I mean, they had concerns if I leave, these clients should not also leave with me. So we chalked out a plan, and then I also got a good exit, cash exit from them, which I used as a seed money for funding the other projects that I had in mind.
Okay, so what was the next project that you decided to do?
So after Sagacious, I moved on to build a company called Sparrow Devices. So Sparrow Devices, we were focusing on building these very wide, very large LED posters which can be used for out of home advertising. See, idea was that obviously inventory cost is way high if you talk about having your hoardings on prime locations at various cities, right? तो अगर हम उसको रिप्लेस करते हैं विद एलईडी screens, so that basis time of basis the location, you can change the content with the ads that you want to place for various companies and brands. So that was the idea that I started working on. We created a good product.
This was like what size hoardings are you talking? Like the full big size hoardings जो red light
हाँ
से
हाँ.
दिखती हैं वो आप बात कर रहे हो
Yes,
या
yes. I'm talking about hoardings having a minimum size of 12 feet by 8 feet, and maximum it could go to 24 by 18 feet.
D&D? I think in the D&D toll plaza, just after the toll plaza, there is one such.
Exactly. So at that time, I mean, I started working on this project.
And this business was with your wife.
Yes,
By this time, she decided to be your co-founder and quit
yes, that's
Maruti.
right. That's right. Because she had quit Maruti. See, there were certain things which were positive because I had got a all cash exit from my first startup, Sagacious. So there was no problem on that part. So some part of it we decided that we're going to use for funding the next startup, that is Sparrow Devices. So we ended up creating that product, but again there were 2 3 bottlenecks that came into our way. One was that at that time this concept was very new for Indian geography. So and apparently a couple of municipal corporations like MCD in Delhi, they had taken out notices that these screens can possibly cause distraction of the drivers and can lead to accidents. So that notification actually had hit us very bad at that time. तो उसमें ये था कि जितनी भी कंपनीज के साथ में हमारी डिस्कशंस वगैरह चल रही थी जहाँ पे हमने पायलट्स वगैरह किए थे, all of them said कि investment is huge, although returns are also going to be huge, but we cannot take that risk because if the government is not approving putting up these screens at prime locations, which obviously happen to be prime roads in Delhi NCR area. So these guys backed out. So I mean, although we had the technology, we had demonstrated that, we had done a few POCs, but we realized it's not taking off. We did that. We did trying persuading the municipal corporation as well as our customers as well, but it reached a dead end. And after like 1.5 years,
एक चीज बताओ मुझे ये आइडिया आपको आया कहाँ से? मतलब it is so unrelated to anything you've done before.
यार ये आइडिया मेरे को ऑनेस्टली आई मीन आई वाज ट्रैवलिंग टू द यूएस बैक इन 2010, एंड आई रिमेंबर आई वाज ड्राइविंग फ्रॉम लॉस एंजलिस टू अ स्मॉल टाउन कॉल्ड न्यूपोर्ट बीच. वहाँ पे आई रियलाइज कि यार ये वाले होर्डिंग्स बहुत सारे हैं जहाँ पे एड्स चल रही हैं, ऑब्वियसली टिकर्स चल रहे हैं, एंड आई रियलाइज कि यार ये इंडिया में होना चाहिए बिकॉज इवेंचुअली everyone is fighting for good inventory जहाँ पे they can place their ads and all. So that was the point where I realized कि इसको इंडिया में बना सकते हैं. Obviously, I mean, this was something जहाँ पे cloud also plays an important role because you have to change the content that you're going to play on the large screen as well. So to build that entire system as an entire applications for the cloud part, the application that goes inside the LED screen. So this was a good project, and I said कि यार इसको करके देखते हैं. There's going to be a very big opportunity. So that's where it all started.
So then you decided that because of the environment, this business was not making sense for you. So then what did you do next?
So post that, actually, since we had invested so much into the technology and all, we said कि यार इसी टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज करके जो एग्जिस्टिंग डिजिटल आउट ऑफ होम इकोसिस्टम है क्या उसे हम डिसरप्ट कर सकते हैं. बिकॉज एट दैट टाइम, आई मीन, इफ यू रिकॉल, लाइव मीडिया वाज अ वेरी बिग नेम with respect to the TV screens that they choose to put in restaurants, lift lobbies, and all. But उनका जो सिस्टम था that used to run on USB sticks. तो वो क्या करते थे कि जो भी कंटेंट है, लेट्स से दे हैड अ टाई अप विद बरिस्ता एट दैट पॉइंट, तो बरिस्ता के सारे आउटलेट्स के ऊपर every 10 days their guy would go and replace the USB drive जिससे वो कंटेंट चल रहा होता था. Since we had focused highly on building a delivery application wherein content could be delivered over the cloud and all, right? So, I mean, although we are talking about this in 2020, but we built the system back in 2012. So, at that time, I mean, internet speeds were like really bad in India and all. So, we had to take care of कि 2G network है जिसमें बहुत कम speed भी आ रही है, तब भी मेरा video content move होना चाहिए. So, with that kind of technology lying with us, we realized कि इसको change करते हैं for small screens, and we did that in a span of 2.5 months. And I floated another company by name of Adbox. So within a span of like 3-4 months, we had the technology working. We were able to do collaboration tie-ups with Barista, Haldiram, WH Smith. So we had inventory of over 400 screens with us, and we started pitching to our advertising customers as well, and we started making money, I mean, within a span of 3-4 months. And good thing was, I mean, there was one of our competition who reached out to us that we want to buy you out for the technology that you have built, and we made a very quick exit out of it. I mean, 8 months into the business, we actually were able to encash whatever efforts that we had put in terms of technology and building this business, because we got a very sweetheart deal from one of our competition.
Which company was this? Which bought you out?
I cannot disclose that because I'm still not supposed to talk about that. But yes, I mean, we got a very good exit from that. So that was a technology that I built while at Sparrow Devices. I recycled that for a different use case in the same industry, and we got a good exit from that. So this is how it panned out in the end.
Did you work in that company, the competitor, when they acquired, or did you decide to move on?
So yes, I mean, they asked me to be at the company and start building another product for them. But I said, I mean, the deal is that I just provide the complete hand-holding and knowledge transfer for the technology that we have currently built. And once you are comfortable, I mean, if that takes 2-3 months, 4 months, I'm okay with that. But no new projects that I want to build for this company. And they were okay with that because prime objective for them to buy us out was the technology that we had currently built. And I did serve a knowledge transfer period of 3 months with them. But I never worked as an employee or worked for a longer haul with them.
So, and how old were you when you got bought out from here?
So I was 29 at that time.
Okay, so that's a pretty good place to be. Like at 29, you would have received some amount of cash, enough to not worry about making a salary anymore. So then what did you decide to do next?
So that's a very interesting thing which I did after that. 2-3 महीने तो मतलब I was just trying to figure out what should be the next thing that I should work on. And एक बार I was talking to one of my friends. He said कि यार you should go to Valley and explore. कि what are the new ideas that you should be focusing on. That sounds interesting. So I was talking to my wife कि shall I go out on a 1 month trip to San Francisco and all, to figure out to do some self exploration, to figure out what are the other ideas that I want to work on. And she said, I mean, if it is for 1 month, I don't mind. So what I did after that was, I mean, I was actually out in the Valley area, spent 1 month there, was attending a lot of meetups, trying to meet a lot of people. I had a lot of friends there as well, so I went and visited them. They also introduced me to some of their other colleagues or other friends who were working on different technologies and different use cases. So that was a time wherein I actually was not sure what I will be doing next, but I immersed myself into gathering a lot of information about. So, what are these guys doing on the social network side? What are these guys doing on the fintech side? What are these guys doing on the edtech side? So, I mean, that actually widened my horizon with respect to what all possibilities are there with respect to some very convincing use cases where you can build scalable businesses. So with that thing, I mean, I came back and started working on a B2C product called Mishtag. And the core thesis around Mishtag was that with a lot of content that we share on the social media, which is based on images and photographs, can we monetize that and create more value for the users who are consuming those photographs? I'll give you an example. Let's say ki you see a photograph of one of your friends and you like the t-shirt that he is wearing, right? And if you are able to get information about which brand is this, where can I buy this, by just hovering over that video, over that image, that is something that we created at Mishtag. So it was a tag that could add more value to the image that you see on any social media platform. So that was back in 2014 when we started building on this stack. We did raise an angel round of over a crore, and we were doing good numbers. But again, I mean, these numbers were not good enough for us to raise a follow-on round, because at that time investments were drying up in India. I mean, the famous saying of winter.
Who was paying for this tag? मतलब customer कौन था?
सी हम लोग एक्चुअली दो तरीके से काम करते थे उस केस में. फॉर द पब्लिशर्स हम लोग एक रिपोजिटरी बना रहे थे ऑफ द इमेजेस दैट दे कुड यूज ऑन देयर आर्टिकल्स एंड ऑल व्हिच आर प्री टैग. फॉर एग्जांपल, थिंक अबाउट टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया, or think about, let's say, Miss Malini, right? If they have on every article that they publish on their websites or portals, they have few images. I mean, if these images are pre-tagged and have some products associated with it, for every purchase that a user makes by clicking on the tag on that image, obviously there is a affiliate commission that kicks in. So some part of it obviously goes to the publisher, and some part of it was retained by Mishtag. So this is how we were like monetizing it.
And how many publishers did you tie up?
We were working with a total of 29 publishers at one time. But again, I mean, what happened with Mishtak was the stack was there, but we could not generate enough numbers for us to do a follow-on round. And at that time, I mean, the investment ecosystem in India was a bit skeptic. I mean, remember the time 2015-16 when everyone was talking about winter has come, winter has come. That was the time frame we could not raise a follow-on round, and then we decided to stop operations at Mishtag. So that's how Mishtag ended. And post that, actually, what happened was, I mean, I started working on what I'm doing currently. That's IOTfy, because again, I mean, IoT is something which was being talked about a lot. While I was researching about it, there were two, three kind of feelings which I got, because I had a few friends who were working in the embedded systems industry. And obviously, I mean, for any IoT system, it's like multiple subsystems working together in close harmony so that you can create something effective for the business or the user who is paying for that service, right? So if I talk about IoT, I mean, one layer is the hardware layer, second layer is the cloud layer, third layer is the mobile application layer, fourth layer is the machine learning or the AI layer, right? So I had been exposed to at least three layers of these four stacks that I've mentioned. Hardware, since I mean, while I was working at college, I used to do a lot of projects based on hardware. Cloud, obviously, I mean, the kind of system that I built at Sparrow Devices, AdBox, and Mishtag, I had a fair understanding of cloud and the apps ecosystem. Machine learning and AI was something which were new to me, but I could also figure out there were certain issues with the current way that people were implementing IoT solutions for their customers. For example, there was no one talking about security at that part at that time. So these systems were working, I mean, but no one talked about security, no one talked about scalability, and no one talked about cost effectiveness. So that is something which actually incited me to do some more research. So I started talking to a lot of design houses who were working on the hardware design part, and understood what were they using in terms of a cloud platform. And in most of the cases, their answer was that we ask some application development company to build a custom solution for the use case that we are building. So at that stage एक realization ये थी कि यार अगर हर कोई custom ही बनवा रहा है तो there is a need for something which can be standardized or which can be used by all of these people who are developing IoT solutions. And that is where my thesis started evolving around why can't we create a WordPress for IoT? Because जैसे WordPress के ऊपर आप मतलब even if you don't know the underlying tech, right? But you can still create a beautiful looking website that works for you and serves the purpose, right? So I would say with IOTify, the mission of being WordPress of IoT started even before we wrote single line of code. Because उसमें ये था कि यार we want to create WordPress of IoT for everyone who is building an IoT use case. Idea is that we want to be the default platform for people to start pushing their data from their devices to the cloud and use that for their applications on the mobile and use that for all the models that they're creating for machine learning and artificial intelligence. So this was our thesis. This was our vision statement that we started working on for IOTify. And with IOTify, obviously, I mean, I have few other founders. So what I did was, I mean, I was a part of startup leadership program in 2012. So I had one of my co-founders, Shivam. He used to run an engineering electronic design services firm called Atrim. So obviously, while I was researching, I talked to them as well. And Shivam and his partner at that time, Shashank, who is also a partner now co-founder now at IOTify, they showed interest. I mean, why can we work together on this? So, and then, I mean, there was one other guy, Sushant, who is also my co-founder. He was also a part of SLP, and I was just discussing with him that this is what I'm trying to build. So Sushant comes in with truckloads of experience on building very scalable system. He was a part of the core team at Snapdeal as well. So all four of us got together and started doing some hackathons over the weekend. I remember the first hackathon that we did was over the Christmas weekend, and we said, "Ki let's try to build something which is a functional prototype of what we are trying to do." Within 3 days, we actually had a working prototype of the platform that we wanted to develop. And obviously, I mean, since Shashank, who takes care of the hardware side, he was doing the integration of the hardware side. That if this is a WordPress like platform for IoT, I should be able to just start pushing my data within like 15 minutes. And he was able to achieve that. On the backend side, Sushant and me were working on making sure that we are able to accept data from various devices in various formats and save it on our platform and make it available on the app side so that user can take some actions on that. So a very quick and dirty prototype we were able to build in 3 days while we started with that hackathon. And that actually continued for a while because we ended up doing 7 8 such hackathons continuously week after week, and we realized we have created something which is sellable, we believe. And at that stage we started pitching to a few companies, and we realized कि लोगों को समझ तो आ रहा है जो हम कर रहे हैं, एंड दे आर ऑल्सो अप्रिशिएटिंग द वैल्यू, बट एक चीज मिसिंग थी वहां पे, हम लोग किसी वर्टिकल को टारगेट नहीं कर रहे थे बिकॉज हमारा प्लेटफॉर्म हैज बीन यूज केस एग्नोस्टिक, वर्टिकल एग्नोस्टिक. सो वी सेड कि यार अगर स्मार्ट मीटरिंग है एज अ यूज केस, हमारा प्लेटफॉर्म यूज हो सकता है. इफ समवन इज टॉकिंग अबाउट कंज्यूमर ड्यूरेबल्स, लेट्स से लाइक वाटर प्यूरिफायर्स और एयर कंडीशनर्स, हमारा प्लेटफॉर्म यूज हो सकता है. बट उससे एक चीज हमें रियलाइज हुई कि सेल्स के ऊपर वी नीड फोकस, राइट. प्लेटफॉर्म के ऊपर तो ऑब्वियसली आई मीन इट्स ओनली अबाउट हाउ मच एफर्ट यू पुट इन द आर्किटेक्चर एंड coding the bit, right? But sales does not happen that way. So, I mean, and we got a lot of feedback from a couple of our mentors as well. यार अगर सेल्स के ऊपर करना है तो यूज केस फोकस मूव करना शुरू करो. एंड दैट टाइम वी डिसाइडेड यूनानिमसली कि कंज्यूमर ड्यूरेबल्स एंड अप्लायंसेस बिजनेस एज अ यूज केस साउंड्स लाइक अ वेरी प्रॉमिसिंग यूज केस. एंड हमारा बहुत सिंपल सा थीसिस ये था कि यार अप्लायंसेस और कंज्यूमर ड्यूरेबल्स की मार्केट के अंदर every year you have crores of devices entering user homes. And if all of these devices are IoT enabled, let's say in 5 years, 6 years time frame, and if our platform is powering that, right? We are looking at a ever increasing market. So consciously we decided and agreed that we are going to focus on consumer durables and appliances space. And that's where I think we started seeing some good results as well, because our decks got polished with respect to use cases for these appliances business. Our pipeline was all filled with people working in R&D departments or new product development department of these appliances companies, and we started reaching out, and we that's where IOTfy really started picking up in terms of doing some actual
So,
sales.
give me examples of how this is getting implemented.
So I'll start with one of the first use cases that we started working on. The first category of appliances that we worked on was water purifiers. So, and I'll tell you the thesis behind that. So हर water purifier में कुछ filters होते हैं. आप water purifier खरीदने जाते हो, salesman जो होता है आपको बताता है सर इसमें 5 layer cleaning होती है, 6 layer की cleaning होती है, and he'll talk about all the filters which are there. और ये filter रेगुलर सर्विस भी मांगते हैं और रिप्लेसमेंट भी मांगते हैं, ठीक है. एंड a lot of companies rely on that because after sales services say they make more money compared to the margins that they have on single product sale, ठीक है. Companies like Eureka Forbes, they are built and they are known for the good quality after sale services that they provide, right? So we said कि यार अगर इतना important use case है तो इसके ऊपर IoT डालते हैं. So existing water purifier के अंदर if I just add a layer of hardware which is able to push at regular intervals what is the filter life of this particular water purifier, ठीक है. क्लाउड के ऊपर वी क्रिएट सर्टेन मशीन लर्निंग एल्गोरिथम्स व्हिच कैन डिटेक्ट कि जितने भी फिल्टर्स हैं बेसिस द इंफॉर्मेशन डेटा दैट वी आर गेटिंग फ्रॉम एवरी वाटर प्यूरिफायर वी कैन प्रेडिक्ट कि इसका प्यूरिफायर नंबर 1 रिप्लेसमेंट मांग रहा है कि नहीं मांग रहा, नंबर 2 रिप्लेसमेंट मांग रहा है कि नहीं मांग रहा. इफ वी आर एबल टू प्रेडिक्ट दैट and push that information to the company by integrating to their CRM. For example, there is a user Akshay who uses your purifier which has 5 filters in it, and basis the consumption of water at Akshay's place, we are predicting that filter number 1 wants replacement, because let's say Noida के अंदर अगर पानी जो है उसका जो इनपुट पीपीएम है वो 1200 हार्डनेस जाता है, ठीक है. तो योर फिल्टर्स आर गोइंग टू वेयर आउट फास्टर कंपेयर टू अनदर एरिया जहाँ पे वाटर इज लेस हार्ड, राइट. सो दैट इज एन इंफॉर्मेशन दैट वी स्टार्टेड प्रोवाइडिंग टू कंपनीज for a use case like water purifier. At the same time, we were also informing Akshay as a user on the mobile application that we provide. आपके पानी का PPM अभी इतना आ रहा है after you have processed the water using water purifier. So it gives Akshay a confidence that I have invested, let's say 20,000 rupees on a good quality water purifier, and my input PPM was TDS PPM was 1200 PPM, and now after using the water purifier I'm getting let's say 135 ppm which is drinkable, right. And also we push Akshay notification कि आपका filter number 1 replacement मांग रहा है. तो वहां पे क्या है कि we have provided the same information to the end user as well as to the company, and it becomes very easy for their service team to reach out to any consumer and say कि sir आपका replacement due है. And since the customer has already got a notification on their mobile application, they say yes I understand, I got a notification, इस समय आ जाइए आप. So this is a very simple use case that we started working with, and obviously
Quick questions here. वो मोबाइल ऐप कंपनी ने दी है खुद, लाइक यूरेका फॉर्ब्स ने अपनी मोबाइल ऐप बना के दी है कस्टमर को, या यू मेक दैट मोबाइल
तो
ऐप?
बेसिकली एट IOTify अगर मैं कोर ऑफरिंग्स की बात करता हूँ, so we started with the IoT platform itself, right. Second thing that we have as a product offering is the operating system that goes inside the Wi-Fi connectivity modules, because existing design है उसके ऊपर एक Wi-Fi connectivity module hardware include करना पड़ता है so that data coming from any device can be pushed back to the server. So we provide operating system for that Wi-Fi module as well. Third part is we provide certain white labeled mobile applications which can be white labeled for any brand. For example, if it is a brand X, we'll use that base application, put their branding and certain customizations that they want, and we can put their app on Play Store and App Store within a matter of 4 or 5 days. That is how we operate. तो वो ऐप जो कस्टमर डाउनलोड करता है वो उसी ब्रांड की डाउनलोड करता है जो जिसका प्रोडक्ट वो यूज कर रहा है. It's not a common application that we have.
And how many devices are you currently on? Like, how many devices are you
So
powering?
currently, our platform powers 4,60,000 plus devices, and these come from various categories. We support categories like, as I said, water purifiers. Apart from that, we do a lot of business on the lighting part, with smart lighting being in high demand in India. Then fans, air conditioners, air coolers, chimneys, inverters. A lot of security cameras, which are now Wi-Fi enabled, and we do a lot of data processing for the streams coming on the platform, so that we can push out notifications in terms of any movement being detected. So some of these AI happens on the cloud, some of these AI happens on the edge, which is the device itself. So in all, we support over 28 categories at this stage.
Okay. And which markets geographically, like where you're focused on India?
So right now, yes, I mean our entire focus is on India, because India is a very huge market. Or is some, if you talk about IoT penetration, it is increasing, and I believe, I mean, there's still a lot of scope in the Indian market. But yes, I mean, honestly, I mean, if this COVID situation would not have been there, we would have ventured out couple more geographies, but we have held back our plans to try it out among within these very challenging times. So I believe, I mean, once systems are back to track with respect to the impact that COVID has had, we're going to expand to markets outside India as well. Two markets that we have identified is Australia and Singapore.
And do you have competitors in this space, like other companies who are building a similar platform?
So yes, I mean, in fact, I mean, it's a very highly funded competition that we have from China. It's a company called Tuya. Last round that they raised was a Series C of 200 million. So they are a global competition, and they all obviously are a competition in Indian market as well, because a lot of companies who started working on IoT, at least in the lighting space, they started with Tuya as a default platform. And there's a reason for that, because when smart lighting started in India, everyone was importing the complete product from China. And Tuya had deep integration with a lot of ODMs in China. Even if, let's say, a company X imported from an ODM which was not Tuya, but that
What
ODM
is
would have,
ODM?
ODM is
Original
original device
device
manufacturer.
manufacturer.
Yes.
Okay. Hmm. So
So
people who would give you a product and brand it for you, basically.
एग्जैक्टली दैट्स द केस. तो उस केस में ये था कि टूया स्टार्टेड with Indian market, because a lot of players were importing complete product from another manufacturer or ODM based out of China, who was using Tuya's technology behind that. And abhi to recently, I think last year, Tuya also started with their India focused team as well. So they are our biggest competition. Specifically talking about any Indian entities, there is no one who is providing the completeness in terms of the stack that we are providing, because we cover the entire spectrum: hardware, cloud, mobile applications, and ML engine as well. So no one really complete that comprehensive solution or product offering that we have.
And what is your size right now, like headcount or revenue?
So on the headcount side, we have a team of 27 people working at IOTfy right now. In terms of revenue, we did over 5 crores in revenue last year. And idea is that our plan is that we should be at least doing 3x of that during this year. I mean, and I'm saying even after discounting the impact of COVID on.
And are you funded or are you bootstrapped right now?
So we are bootstrapped. We obviously, I mean, tried reaching out to a lot of VCs, but again, I think because of the nature of business that we are into, which has some portion of hardware associated with it. Although, I mean, we are a pure play SaaS company, but since our SaaS operates on a hardware layer, right? I think that's one thesis that a lot of VCs are still developing at their side. We have chosen the hard path, self-funded, profitable.
Wow, you are currently profitable.
Yes, we are profitable. Yes.
Okay, that is amazing. And who are some of your like big customers who use your solution?
See, I mean, I cannot take the exact names because we are covered by NDAs. We cannot talk about our associations with all the companies, but I can give you certain anecdotes that, I mean, we work with top three of the five leading air conditioner brands in India. We work with top two.
So, what is the use case for IoT in AC?
So that's a very
Because
interesting use case.
AC comes with a remote already, and I mean, so how does IoT add value there?
दो तीन चीज़ें हैं देखो, एक तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि रिमोट्स आर रिडंडेंट बिकॉज आज की डेट में अगर आप फैन की भी बात करते हो with BLDC fans being promoted by the government as well because of efficiencies, right? But these fan come with a remote. अब मैं एज अ नॉर्मल यूजर अगर मैं बात करता हूँ तो मैं कितने रिमोट घर में कैरी करूंगा? मेरे पास सेट टॉप बॉक्स का एक रिमोट है, ठीक है, मेरे पास एसी का एक रिमोट है, मेरे पास फैन का भी एक रिमोट आ जाएगा, तो इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू एड एनी वैल्यू टू मी। मेरे को उसके लिए भी रिमोट ढूंढना पड़ेगा। तो सबसे पहली चीज तो ये है कि यार इट बिकम्स वेरी वेरी इंट्यूटिव टू यूज बिकॉज अगर आपके पास में लेट्स से गूगल असिस्टेंट जो कि हर एंड्रॉइड फोन में डिफॉल्ट है, आपको कोई रिमोट ढूंढने की भी जरूरत नहीं है। यू कैन से ओके गूगल सेट माई टेम्परेचर टू 22, राइट? ईज ऑफ यूज बहुत ज्यादा है। और कुछ ऐसे केसेस हैं, मतलब आई गिव यू वेरी सिंपल एग्जांपल। अब being a savvy user, I still don't know how to set timer of switching off my AC using my remote. मुझे नहीं पता कि 2 घंटे बाद इसको मेरे को ऑफ करना है तो मैं कैसे करूँ। And I believe I'm a savvy user. But how easy that becomes on mobile application or let's say Google Home, you're going to say that set a timer of 2 hours on my air conditioner. That's it, you're done. 2 घंटे बाद ऑटोमेटिकली बंद हो जाएगा। सो वन पार्ट इज कन्वीनियंस वेर यू डू नॉट रिक्वायर अ रिमोट, एंड ऑब्वियसली रिमोट्स दे गेट लॉस्ट, भूल जाते हैं कहाँ पे रखा था हमने, कभी वो किसी तकिए के नीचे पड़ा होता है, कभी नीचे गिरा होता है। So that's one part. Second part is the kind of customization that we can provide using the AI part. For example, now talk about an air conditioner which is installed at your place in Noida, right? मेरे को पता है कि नोएडा का इस समय मेरे को weather information क्या मिल रहा है, what is the temperature that Akshay has set at his room, and what is the pattern that Akshay has, right? Basis the operating pattern that he has demonstrated over let's say 4-5 days, तो उसके बेसिस के ऊपर ही मैं बहुत सारी आपको कस्टमाइजेशंस रिकमेंड कर सकता हूँ। तो shall we go about this? So this is something which is taking multiple inputs from various sources and recommending to you as a user कि you want to apply this setting, and some of these settings are making a lot of sense कि जहाँ पे आपको पता है कि मैं एनर्जी भी सेव करूंगा because for something which is as power hungry as air conditioner, these recommendations make a lot of sense, right? So, obviously with this kind of layer that we are talking about, convenience is one of the prime factors wherein adoption of IoT in categories which are not known to have IoT traditionally is picking up.
Okay. Do you provide hardware also, or is your offering essentially just software?
So our offering, as I said, is a SaaS offering. But yes, I mean, we have a team of hardware engineers working with us, and we call that team as customer success team. And the reason we have a team of hardware engineers is because one, we crank out a lot of designs that we offer to our brand partners for various categories. हमारे को advantage ये मिलती है उस केस में कि reference designs हैं, हमारा time to market बहुत reduce हो जाता है for any product. That's one. दूसरा, anyways IoT की implementation में hardware तो आपको देखना ही पड़ता है, right? तो my customer success team, the hardware team, they are able to troubleshoot and do debugging very quickly. So this team acts as a very important element of what we do at IOTify, because एक तो हम designs crank out कर लेते हैं, दूसरा integrations के अंदर my team is actually supporting our brand partners. So while we do not do something in terms of hardware per se, but ये team काफी effective team है for doing out integrations and all.
Okay. And what is like a 5-year plan for IoTify? One, of course, you told me you want to go global, Australia and Singapore to start with. What else is there on your vision?
See, vision standpoint से अगर मैं बात करता हूँ तो we started with a vision of WordPress for IoT, right? Abhi, there are 2-3 things which we are planning. One is we want to open our platform for the developers now, because abhi kya hai ki we are using this platform and providing that to only brands, OEMs and ODMs only, right? But there is a very huge demand of such platforms which are easy to use at the developer community side as well. So within next 2.5 months, we are going to roll that out for the developers as well. So our target is that by September first week, we should have it open for the developers. And this actually would be a very, I would would say important milestone in our journey, because जब हम शुरू हुए थे हम एक बहुत ही broad base से शुरू हुए थे कि हम use case agnostic, sector agnostic है. हमने उसे narrow down किया to build a business, and now we are going to open that again to the developers and become use case agnostic again. While our sales efforts to our brand partners would still be focused on appliances and consumer durables, but we believe we have created something that can be utilized by a lot of developers out there for building meaningful use cases to various for various sectors. That is where we will start opening our platform to developers. That's one. Second part is we have started promoting our ROI modules for our brand partners. So if I talk about ROI modules, because IoT की जैसे आपने बात करी अभी मेरे से, आपने बोला कि इसके यूज केसेस कहाँ कहाँ पे हैं, तो IoT ऑन द फेस ऑफ इट यूजर साइड के ऊपर तो इट ओनली एड्स सम लेयर ऑफ कन्वीनियंस टू इट, राइट? बट डेटा दैट गेट्स कलेक्टेड एंड वंस दैट डेटा इज रनिंग थ्रू आवर ML engines and all, right, the kind of insights that it can create for the business are tremendous. So what we have started focusing on is creating certain return on investment modules, ROI modules on top of the core platform that we have, which are going to make a lot of sense to our brand partners. So our distinguishing factor with even with the biggest competitions like Tuya is going to be the ROI modules, so that if any brand signs up with us as a IoT platform partner, we are going to make sure that their investments have huge ROI from various stakeholder standpoint. Marketing departments could make ROI from the investment that they have done on the IoT platform. New product development department could get ROI from that. Even the sales or the purchase departments could get ROI from that, because the amount of data that can be processed to get meaningful insights for all of these stakeholders is immense, and that is what our focus is. So we are going to work on use cases which no one has really worked on. This is the data which is available. But idea is to cement our place with these ROI focused modules with the existing brand partners and in other geographies as well. So these are like two layers which I'm going to add to what you just said in the beginning.
So just like a as a side question, ये आपकी pricing क्या per device होती है या it's like a flat price for a company, or what is it like?
सी इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज़ ये है कि जो अभी हमारा स्पेस है, अगर हम ट्रेडिशनली देखें ये लोग अपना काम कैसे करते हैं, बिकॉज एनी अप्लायंस मैन्युफैक्चरर, राइट, दे हैव अ बिल ऑफ मटेरियल which is essentially all the components that are required to build an appliance, right? And for them to calculate what is the cost of the appliance, they go by the entire bill of material. They put a cost part to it. They put the cost for the processing and assembling and everything, right? That is what the cost is for them. And obviously, once they have the cost, they can figure out what is going to be my sale price and what is going to be the margins for my distributors and all. So now IoT जब picture में आता है, obviously if we are talking about devices which are going to make calls back to the cloud infrastructure. अगर SaaS offering की बात करता हूँ तो typical SaaS offerings होती हैं कि we are going to bill you monthly or yearly, right? But हम अपने केस में, because we understood कि ये market थोड़ी different है, we provide a flat cost for per device for their lifetime. How do we define lifetime is important here, because that is what our brand partners tell us. For example, if we're talking about a lighting product, राइट, अब लाइटिंग के ऊपर टिपिकल लाइफ हम लोग मान के चलते हैं कि 3 साल से ऊपर मैक्स लाइफ नहीं होती है एक लाइटिंग प्रोडक्ट. एंड फॉर लेट्स से इफ आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट स्मार्ट बल्ब, आई एम गोइंग टू प्रोवाइड देम अ कॉस्ट फॉर 3 years of cloud usage, unlimited number of times. I mean, when I say unlimited, that means the customer can use it as many times as the customer wants. बट इससे एडवांटेज क्या मिलती है कि उनके लिए बिल ऑफ मटेरियल में एक और लाइन एंट्री ऐड हो जाती है कि मेरी क्लाउड की SaaS फी कितनी है, एंड दे नो देयर कॉस्ट अपफ्रंट. सो दिस हेल्प्स अस बिकॉज वहां पे वी डू अ लॉट ऑफ हेजिंग, बिकॉज मुझे पता है कि कुछ यूजर होंगे जो कि बेल कर्व में मैक्सिमम यूजर की तरफ टेंड कर रहे होंगे, कुछ यूजर होंगे जो बहुत कम कर रहे होंगे, बट आई provide a hedged cost basis the average usage that is going to be there for a device for the lifespan that we have decided in agreement with the brand that we work with. So it works well because they do not have to change their working style. We have provided them a fixed cost for lifetime, and it becomes easier for everyone to follow that pace.
So, Arpit, one last question from me now. There is a lot of concern about data security. Like, a lot of people are saying boycott Zoom because Zoom का server China में, even though it's an American company. So, do your brand clients also have these kind of concerns क्योंकि उनका सारा data आपके cloud के through process होगा?
Absolutely. It's a very important thing that we have to address, and we are addressing that with a lot of confidence. देखिए, if I really talk about devices which are being imported from China, let's say एक simple example लेते हैं वाईफाई कैमरा. वाईफाई कैमरा आप Amazon पे सर्च करोगे, आप I'm sure you'll find hundreds of them, and most of these are imported from China, right? तो जस्ट थिंक अबाउट सिनेरियो, आपने वो कैमरा लगाया है अपने घर पे, आपने उसको इंटरनेट से कनेक्ट किया यूजिंग द ऐप एंड ऑल द डेटा फीड इज गोइंग टू सर्वर्स बैक इन चाइना. I mean, if this is not breach of your data, then what is? So with this thing, I mean, what we are doing is our data centers are in India. We are an Indian company. We comply to the law of the land, and there is not even a single instance wherein the data is moving out of Indian geographies.
Beyond Campus is a production of the Podium.in, powered by Career Launcher. If you like this show, then we are sure that you will love our other shows on subjects like entrepreneurship, marketing, books, and drama. Check out the Podium.in for a complete list of all our shows.